Jared Ritter, aka the Triple B. Jared is the broker and owner of Ritter Real Estate. He started his career as a realtor over 12 years ago. 2 years into business, he started his personal brand, the Bright Blazer Broker, and has 100 different blazers that he wears every day. Upon leaving the world of education as a teacher and jumping full-time into real estate, he has sold over 1,300 real estate transactions and accumulated 130 real estate investment units. Ritter Real Estate has grown to nearly 50 agents with 5 offices in Missouri and Illinois since Ritter became managing broker in 2019. They're excited to continue growing Team Purple and expanding their Bright mission into other communities. Last month, Jared was recognized as the 2025 Cape Chamber Young Professional of the Year. Please help me welcome to the stage, Jared Ritter.
Aha. Sorry, I don't do podiums very well. Good morning, how's everybody doing? Yeah, they're like, hey, let's put him up first because he's supposed to wake you up. So at this time, go get some more coffee and then we'll get started. No, yeah, that's a safe bet. Throw the crazy blazer guy up first and try to wake everybody up. So glad you guys are here, whether you were told to come or you chose to come. You guys have a fantastic lineup today and I think it's gonna be an amazing day. So I have 15 minutes. I could talk to that wall for 15 minutes. So this might feel like you're drinking from a fire hose a little bit, but my goal is that you get something out of this, that maybe there's a memory tool that you can leave here and then you can use this for your business in any kind of way. I don't care if you're an employee, I don't care if you're in sales, I don't care if you own your own business, you want to own your own business. Hopefully this relates to you today. So, Chamber, thank you again for having me here. So excited. Let's get started. Okay, leading with intention, okay? Like I said, I hope my talk today strikes a nerve no matter in what capacity that you serve, okay? But how do we lead well? Like, I think that's a question that we should all leave here wanting to answer. My definition of leadership, I stole it. If you say it more than twice and you get credit now, you can like use it for your own. But my definition of leadership is making others' success easy. You're all leaders in this room. Again, I don't care if you work for a company or you own your own company, you're all leaders. You all have people that you're surrounded with every single day, even if it's just a coworker. How can you make their success easy? How can you make your clients' success easy? And how do we lead well? And how do we lead with intention? These are questions that we have to answer. And also, how do you cultivate an environment that inspires people to want to grow? Okay? So, yes, I don't have long, so I have a memory tool for you. It's the 3 Ps. There may be a 4th one. You call it the multiplier, okay? It does good things. But they're not all promote, promote, promote. I know you probably thought that's what it was. But promotion is everything, okay? Like I said, whether you work for a company or you do your own thing, we should all want to promote, right? You have to promote what you actually want. What do you want? Okay, how are you going to lead from the front and promote, promote, promote? Everybody should leave here promoting something. Promote that you're here today at this awesome chamber event, right? But too much of the time we get in our head about like, I don't know what to promote. I don't do social media. You're not gonna get me on camera or video. But the easy answer is, what am I after? Okay, maybe it's a sale or maybe it's just to inspire somebody. You should promote that. Ask yourself, what am I after in my business? What am I after in my personal growth? And how do I put that out there? If you can answer that question, boom, you'll be a little bit more committed. You'll be a little bit more intrigued, and that's where creativity comes from. So what can I promote? Start with that. Promote what you do want. It all goes back to promotion. Especially if you're just starting out in a career, you have to promote. You have to promote. You have to get yourself out there. You don't have to always wear a colorful jacket in order to get attention, but in some capacity, you have to be willing to get attention. You have to get people to know you. You have to make others' success easy, and you have to lead from the front. Promote what you do want. Why? Because you never get, this is a MJ quote, the real GOAT. Sorry, LeBron people. MJ said that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. How you show up each and every day absolutely matters. You are a walking promotion. The second P, profit. Who in this room wants some profit? I was told to wake you up. Come on, who in this room wants some profit? Yes. Guys, if you just do the first P's back and forth, it's a great problem to have. Promote profit, promote profit, promote profit. Who agrees that if you just kept on posting on social media about what you do and how you do it, and please let me help you buy a house, if you do that long enough, hopefully you get a sale. That's the profit part. Promote profit, just keep doing it. Eventually you're probably going to find something, right? Whether it is a raise, a bonus, a commission, it does not matter. You have to keep promoting, and then you get to the second P, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I love money. Man, we need to talk about more about money. You need to talk about money around your dinner table. It doesn't need to be this obscure, abstract thing, right? Why? Because I want all the good people to have all the money, because I trust what you would do with it. But yes, the second P is profit. Let's talk about anybody a fan of John Maxwell? Dr. John Maxwell, he's just like wrote his 94th book, How to Get a Return on Failure. Fun fact, I got to hear that in a small room of like 50 people, and he's like, hey, if this goes well, it was like 4 years ago. This is cutting into my time. He was like, if this goes well, I'm going to write a book on it one day. I was like, sure, you probably say that to everybody. This is the book. So get that book. It's great. Anyways, my favorite law that he has is the law of the trade-off. I think everybody in this room today would agree that whatever you did to get you where you're at now, those are not going to be the same things that get you where you want to go. And that comes with sacrifice. Pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. Okay? If you want to keep doing this profit thing, there's going to be choices. There's going to be decisions. Maybe it has something to do with your time. But it's called the law of the trade-off. It hurts. It's kind of like transition. I feel like I've been 5 years of transition right now. It's tough. You feel like, where do I find my value? How do I do this next thing? When do I really step over the line? It's the law of the trade-off. It may be something really important to you that you have to start saying no to. And trade this off so you can become that. Profit. Such a beautiful thing. The third P is process. This is the one in business I have failed the most in. You tell me to go run through that wall. That's not the best example. I think I actually do that. It folds. But if you told me to run through a brick wall, give me 5 tries. I'm going to try really hard. Okay? I don't mind the go, go, go. I don't mind the hustle, hustle, hustle. That can be dangerous sometimes. Committing first and figuring the rest out later. It's a great way to live. But eventually it catches up to you. This is where I've failed the most. If you can't tell, little eccentric, little wild. So wild that in the busiest part of my career for a year and a half, I committed to getting up at 2:30 in the morning. For a year and a half. That's wild. Don't do that. That's called insanity, okay? But it was the grind. It was the hustle. I have no problem committing to that, okay? You can't do that for long. And here's the thing. Even if you're committed to sleeping 4 hours a night, 3 hours a night, there's still only so many hours of the day. That runs out. Why was the biggest reason I did that? Not only to survive, but it's because I had zero process. So what we've done at our company is I've taken everything I've learned through the crazy and added process for that. Why? Because the definition of leadership is making others' success easy. For any template, any form, any process, seller, buyer, situation, you name it, I want there to be a very clear and easy process because I know what it feels like to do it the other way. How are you being that kind of intentional in your work for your clients? They have processes to follow too, do they not? Do you have your scripts down? Do you know exactly what you're supposed to say on the phone? Etc., etc., etc. So, like I said, that is 100% where I've struggled in my business. The third P, or wait, clicker didn't work. That was the third. the fourth, the multiplier, is people. Guys, it's all about people. It is all about people. And it always will be. This was a phenomenal award to win. This is zero about Jared. This is all about my awesome people who show up each and every day to actually make our company a success. I would be nowhere without them. You heard some fancy numbers in my introduction, and I got a big sales background. Once I realized that what I do alone pales in comparison to what we do together, that's when I woke up. I had the mentality, if you can't tell, that put it on my back, I'll carry the load, right? I will show up, I'll get up stupid early, and I'll do it by my dang self, because I can. Man, what a small-minded individual I was. It's all about relationships. It's all about what you can do with other people. You want to go fast? Go by yourself. You want to go far? Go with others. It's always been about people. So the fourth P is called the multiplier. Why? Because once you've figured out this, you always go back to promote. That doesn't stop, by the way. Promote, promote, promote. Promote profit, just back and forth. Then add process. Promote profit, promote profit. Oh, that feels good. Making some money. Holy cow, I'm dying. That's where I was. Let's add some process to this, right? Then, once you have that process down, this is the multiplier because you throw a whole lot of good people at it and things start to take off. That's where we're at. We're adding locations. We got 5 offices. We're looking at more. We have 47 agents, and we wouldn't have that if we didn't have our process down, if we didn't figure out certain things along the way. So your job today is to identify which one of these 4 stood out the most. How can you lead well? And what's it going to take for you to move to the next level? So, people. Something else I failed at. I'm pretty sure I said I would talk about that kind of stuff. You got to leave people room to change their mind. I used to be a little bit more, like either you're with me or you're against me type person. Anybody feel that a little bit? And let me tell you, that's not a way to live life. You got to leave room for second chances. You got to leave room for people to change their mind. You got to leave room for people to come back. Because if you're sincere about being all about people, and if people is the actual multiplier, and like I said at the very beginning of my talk, how you treat people matters the most in anything that you do. Give that some thought today. But guys, it's all about people. Lastly here, blissful dissatisfaction. Been on that side of the stage. Blissful dissatisfaction. Once I read this, I'll give credit here. Ed Milet. Anybody ever heard of Ed Milet? Check him out. Phenomenal speaker in the finance world. He is great, okay? I've gotten to hear him speak at a few conferences. Always blown away, so look him up. And I believe this phrase here came out of his book, Max Out, I think. And it's a tiny little read, so pick it up. But blissful dissatisfaction, once I came across this, everything just clicked. It made so much more sense. Because if you're anything like me, and if you're in this room to educate yourself, you're probably a little bit like me, you've realized that, hey, this hustle bustle thing, I kind of like that. And if you can't tell from our message today, that's a good thing, but it only gets you so far. Let me tell you the hard part about the hustle, the grind, and I love it. One of our core values at our company is grit. Nothing wrong with that. The hardest part for me that I had to finally convince myself of is if it's all about the hustle, there's not much enjoyment. There's never a finish line. There's always the next thing to accomplish. When am I ever going to actually be happy? Right? Because you get in this go, go, go mode, and then there's not much else left. Once I read about blissful dissatisfaction, all of that changed. It's this idea that I can be happy now, that I can be blissful in the moment, that at some point Picture yourself 5, 10 years ago. Man, how thrilled would that person be to know where you're at now? That matters. That 100% matters. It doesn't mean you're done. It doesn't mean you have to stop. There can be another target. But guys, let me tell you, speaking from experience, if you cannot find joy in the moment, if you can't find yourself to be grateful for where you're at now, none of it will matter. So blissful dissatisfaction is this idea that yes, you today in this room, your progress where you're at, you can be happy about that while being dissatisfied. It's a beautiful combination. Dissatisfaction is a beautiful thing. Dissatisfaction means there is another level. There is the law of the trade-off. I do need to sacrifice a little bit more if I'm going to get to where I'm truly saying I want to go. But you can do that at the same time. So, my hope is that this related to you in some way, shape, or form. Like I started this talk with, you got to lead with intention. Okay? I would ask yourself today, what am I doing to make the people's lives around me? And I know this is a business type event, that kind of thing, but what are you doing at home to make people's lives around you easier? Guys, you're leaders in every walk of your life. At our company, we talk a whole lot about personal, professional, and financial goals. And if you're a business owner, I would start. Why? Because what we have found, and you probably can relate to this, whether it's, maybe a past job you've had or career, when's the last time that someone asked you about your personal goals in a workplace? You know what I mean? And sometimes I ask people, it's the hardest question for adults to answer. Because adults sometimes don't really know what they want. Personally, I know how much money I want to make. Yeah, I know where I want to go professionally. But if you can do me one more favor today, then I'm going to get off this stage. At some point today, take a blank sheet of paper and write down what you actually want. Brainstorm that. When's the last time you've given yourself space to do that? And then separate those into categories: personal, professional, and financial goals. You can look up the SMART method: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely. I like to structure mine in the past tense. Weird, I know. But when I write my goals down every single day, today was 2,021 days I've been writing my goals down every single day in a row. Right? It's the daily. That's my freaking North Star. I want to see it. I want to feel it every single day. But employers, talk to your people about their goals. And not just about what sales target they need to hit. Talk about what they want personally and ask yourself how you can help them get there. Okay? So that's your homework for me today, is blank sheet of paper. Guys, this is like my favorite activity, okay? I'd rather do this and go to the lake. I'm being quite serious. Take a blank sheet of paper, find your own space, ask yourself what you want. See what comes to the mind. Write those down in personal, professional, and financial categories. Give yourself some 1, 3, and 5 year goals. And if you really want to impress me, start writing them down every single day and see what that does for you. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Enjoy your day.